Council of Borough of River Edge, July 8th, 2024, regular meeting, 7 p.m. at the River Edge Public Library, 685 Elm Avenue. I ask everyone to stand for a moment of silent reflection for all those who are on vacation and, in dangerous shark-filled waters and other concerns to protect their children. Okay.
Now flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on January 11th, 2024, this location, date, and time, and to the Town News and Bergen Record, and by posting of the same on the municipal bulletin board and the borough website, and filing notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Calhoun?
Yes.
Council President Montesano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Casella?
Here.
Councilwoman Mama Larry?
Here.
Councilman Benson?
Here.
Councilman Blatz?
Here.
Mayor Papaleo?
Here, all right, very good. We have approval of minutes. Could I have a motion from any member of council and a second to approve the minutes of the mayor and council regular meeting of June 24th, 2024?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any abstentions?
I need to abstain.
Okay. Madam Clerk, you good with those? Great. Okay, we are going to jump straight into a presentation. Borough Hall exterior presentation, Costa Associates. Do we have Jason or do we have Jason? Oh, got both of you. Would you both just, for the record, introduce yourselves, names and association?
Absolutely. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council, the public. Robert Costa, Costa Engineering.
Good evening, everybody. Jason Flores, Costa Engineering.
All right, Mr. Costa,
All right.
take it away.
So what do we, basically, Mayor, it's pretty much the same idea in the front for the new Borough Hall entry to match the ADA requirements in order to get in both buildings. So what we did, we actually put in some brick pavers, because I know the comment was don't do all the brick pavers. So we have brick pavers along the front, along the street. We're not doing the streetscape as the council recommended. We're making basically symmetry going through the center to give the 911 memorial symmetry. And then we're creating curves on either side. So to the left will be the police for their monument in that area there. To the right, if the borough wants to do something for a monument at some point in the future, they could do it there. And again, the 9/11 memorial in the center. There'll be a set of steps going up, obviously, to the front door in Borough Hall. And then there's going to be a ramp that'll be for the ADA access to the Borough Hall. And then you can spin around that and actually get into the police station at the same grade. If you come straight out towards Tenney, there'll be a set of steps there in order to get into the police station, or again, maneuver on the sidewalk there. Obviously, to get in the door that's adjacent, that gets into the actual police station that the police actually use, that door will remain in check. We have to build some walls in order to make the grade changes work. The ADA parking space will be the same. It'll be striped accordingly with the requirements under that, with van accessibility. And then the additional work.
Let me show you the front.
Yeah, this is a rendering that we got to give you a prescript. What you guys think?
So I'm going to open the council in a second. Mr. Costa, one of the things that I was confused about is on the left-hand side along the parking lot for the police department, it says proposed concrete sidewalk. There is a concrete sidewalk. So are you thinking that you're going to tear out that sidewalk and put a new one in? There's a concrete walkway, if I'm not mistaken, on the left-hand side to some degree. Or are you
Okay.
widening it, or what exactly? Because I think there is something already there.
There is something there, absolutely. Again, this Jason, DPW Jason, director, He looked at it and said, if we're gonna do this, redo the entire walkway. But again, that's up to the council. We can certainly take that out. We
No,
have
I
to
don't
do
have an
that-
objection
that
to it. So it's not a proposed new walkway. It's refurbishing or replacement of the walkway.
Right, where the hand is going right now, that's new because again, you gotta make the grades work for the ADA requirements. So that has to be new. So at some point, we have to transition back to the existing sidewalk. As far as the parking itself, we're gonna add additional parking spaces, I believe 2 parking spaces in that location. 3. This will be milled and repaved. And obviously the entry and curbing to be done accordingly. Then if we go to the back of the building, again, that'll be restriped, milled and paved. And then we can get at least 1 parking space adjacent to the generator. If we want to remove the tree, then you could probably get at least 2 or probably 2 more spaces there. If you want to remove the trees and the landscaping in that area.
Have you spoken to the police about the need for, whether they need those 2 extra spaces or not?
Yes,
They would like to have.
they would like to have the spaces.
All right. So one of the questions the council has to consider whether we want to take down the tree and add 2 more spaces.
Correct.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Costa, before I turn it over to
Any-
council to ask questions?
Basically, that's it. If you go back to the rendering, so the thought was make the walls brick, bring in the entry. I mean, this gives a visual what the final product would look like. And I guess it's up to the council whether or not they thought we came up with a pretty good design.
Sure. For my part, I think, adding additional spaces that the fire department, not the fire department, I apologize, police department is looking for is worth doing, even though it might bring down a tree. But it's really a council decision, for council comments. Any member of council, instead of me going from senior, on down, is there any member of council who'd like to ask a question or make a comment?
I just have a question. How much green space is there in the front compared to what there is right now?
Square footage.
We don't, it will be maintained, same amount of.
No, it's probably a little less. I mean, it's gonna be a little less because in order for us to accommodate, you're gonna lose a little bit in the front. I don't have the actual square footage numbers. If you need that, we'd have to send that out probably tomorrow morning to give you what's there today and then what would be there tomorrow.
Okay, but it's just a little, it's not, yeah, okay. It's not.
I think.
So Councilwoman, do you want those numbers or are you satisfied with the answer?
I'm okay,
Okay. Anything else, Councilwoman?
but thank you.
Anyone else?
So this is not what I think most people perceive as the front of the building, right? The front is kind of where the pillars and.
Kinnicamax.
Right, on the so I'm wondering, are we planning any landscaping or outdoor improvements outside the building footprint on the Kinnicamac roadside?
No.
I don't know if that falls under Mr. Costa's purview, Ms. Apatow.
No, that is not being incorporated at this time. It's just since we're making the improvements to the building, we have to address the ADA inconsistencies.
Oh, is that primarily what's driving this?
Yes,
But, Councilman, if you wish to include that or for that to be considered, it is your right to suggest that.
I don't really have a good line of sight to what's planned, like as far as landscaping on in the front of the building, so I guess that's something, you know.
Well, since Mr. Costa is separate from the contractor who's doing the building, we can always bring him in at a future date. Would you agree with that?
once the building is done.
I would second that because I have questions about the facade, how it's gonna look like on the Kinnicamac side.
We do have a rendering for that was sent to the council several months ago.
But with the bump,
With the bump out. There was a rendering when it was first approved. I've been showing it to other people. It's the one that we got. Probably now it's 12 months old.
oh,
February of last year.
February of last year.
Okay.
Could you send the council that again? We'll have that sent to you.
That'd be great.
I apologize. Is there a flagpole and what type of lighting is gonna be integrated into this?
Mr. Costa, did you hear the question?
I
I
put it
think that-
here.
Yeah, it was tough. I think you said the lighting. So basically, the idea is to put some pier lights and then put bollards, obviously around the area to light up the walkway.
Some light,
And then some uplighting into the monument itself for the 9/11 memorial. And then again, bollards just tracing the outside, but no, basically no crazy site lighting to impact any of the neighbors to the left or right. And again, I'll get in further with Mr. Iavino because I'm sure he needs lighting over the front door to see what that would be. And then if we have to add a couple of more lights somewhere, we certainly can do so. But the idea was to try to minimize the amount of sight lighting and keep it more as just a courtyard entry.
Councilman Glatz, do you have?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I was just wondering about a flagpole too.
The flagpole is currently where?
will be the main entrance. Oh, right now?
Yeah, Yeah, it's on Kincomac, right?
Yeah, it's on the
it's on
Kindergarten,
Kindergarten.
it's on Kindergarten, so like.
Okay, so it wouldn't be a part of this particular improvement. But if we decided to do something in the future or requested something in the future for the Kincomac facing portion of the building, it could be considered then, correct?
100, yeah,
100%,
absolutely,
that can make
absolutely.
sense.
I mean, if you're really thinking about doing Kindercomac Road, obviously, depending on how extensive, you don't want to mill and repave and then come in after the fact and then start, with heavy equipment. So it all depends on, I would imagine, what you have in mind. What's the scope of work? If it's just landscaping, I don't think that's an issue whatsoever. But if we have to
Council.
get sidewalks or something like that to the front, but again,
On your question.
the latest plans that I saw, there were no entry, to my knowledge,
On that
coming
Kindergarten,
on that frontage.
No, there is no entry. Councilman Glass, are you looking for us to move the pole or?
I was just asking where the pole will be and I just want to confirm that we have a pole and it's in an appropriate location.
So it's right next to the sign on Kincomac.
Oh, okay.
It's currently there.
Yeah.
Councilman Benson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just had a quick question about the budget. So this money that I see here, sorry, my, it's hard for me to read, but about $480,000, is that part of I think I saw we're up to about 3,100,000 with the change orders. Is that part of that? Is this separate from that?
That is
No,
separate. The 3.1 million is the contract with H&S. This is site work. It's separate.
Do you have a follow-up question, comment?
No, not this one.
Anyone else? So, Ms. Costa, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is there any way to bring that number down? The 482?
I mean, we could
Try.
we could try to look into, I mean, again, it's a budget number. Obviously, the real number is going to be once it goes out to bid. And I think right now, things are definitely slowing down. So I think the numbers are going to come in possibly a little bit lower. But again, until you actually make the final design and then and get it out there, I don't think you, at this point, I don't think you can value too much out of this. I mean, you need the walls, you want to do the planters, you need obviously you need lighting, you need the railings, you need the ramps. And again, this concept was thought about for a while. And again, it was supposed to be incorporated into the overall renovation. And then the thought was hold back, get the renovation finished, and then obviously take care of this with a completely separate contractor. So this would be a site contractor doing this work on the outside, not a GC that's working on the building as we speak.
And the hardest part is that you need to bring down a lot the size.
Yeah.
To make it ADA compliant.
There's just, you have two different floor heights on the building. So you need to meet all of these different grades in order to make it work to get the ADA accessibility. So, and literally you're designing it around three concepts. You're designing it around the front door for Borough Hall, the front door for the police station, which is at a different height, and the 9/11 memorial that when, basically you're not touching that. So that's staying at the same elevation. We're just making it a little bit more attractive, putting the brick and the limestone cap around it. In my opinion, this kind of makes the front, it definitely cleans it up. It definitely looks a lot more attractive in my opinion. But we could certainly look into different materials if the council really wants that.
Councilwoman?
I'm just, would this bill get paid next year? I'm not clear on how we're doing this right now.
We have funding for,
There is enough?
yeah.
Mayor, I have a question.
Sure.
Go ahead.
We have the Christmas tree on Kinacomac side, right?
Yes.
But is there possible to get access to that when we have the tree lighting event through this design?
It would be the same sort of access that we currently have, where you'd have to walk to the sidewalk and then back up, or you'd have to walk through the treed area. But it's essentially not changing the way we have historically accessed.
It won't change.
Nice to
correct.
have like
A path?
a path or like a way to get there, not past
Well,
bushes.
Problem is, and Mr. Costa, correct me if I'm wrong, on the right-hand side where it says proposed brick waivers, to develop a path there, we have a grade problem, because the
Yes, I would.
concrete, what is it called? The concrete sidewalk is below and you climb up, so you have to put in steps.
Yeah,
You'd have to do steps or a ramp to get up.
Yeah, you would have to go around to get there.
I see more from upwards as proposed landscaping, like from that side.
Mr. Costa, could a sidewalk be, well, then what we'd be doing is creating a sidewalk along the side of the building that would,
Right.
yeah, I don't, and then where would that sidewalk go? It would just suddenly end.
Well, here's the thing,
Just on
you
the
gotta,
tree.
you would have to move the steps out towards Tenny and then create the elevation for the front door and then run it around the building in that manner. You have to make-
So, but what sort of a cost would that, increased cost would that be?
Like around, it's like right now, 15,000.
Ballpark.
Let's say, well, you gotta move the steps out, you gotta cut, you're not gonna have symmetry, you're gonna lose the
You're gonna
symmetry.
symmetry.
Yeah, because one tree is gonna be pushed out while the other tree remains where it is.
50K. You don't have to excavate all that area, you have to make it flat,
Then you gotta make it flat.
and you gotta put a rating. Like around 50,000. If you wanna go all the way to
Say
here.
25 to 30,000. Depending if, again, maybe you could do it.
So
out
in
of,
addition, an additional 25 to 30 would be the ballpark.
Yes.
Is that
But you're gonna
something
make-
you want to
But
propose the
you're
council
gonna,
consider?
you're gonna lose the landscaping. Let me show you some,
No, Councilwoman Claudia, Councilwoman Molinari has, do you want to withdraw
Yeah.
she's withdrawing the suggestion.
Okay.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes, I have a question. You have 8 trees that's for removal. Where are those 8 trees located?
They're adjacent to the,
so they're in the front, a couple of
you have a
them.
couple of locust trees in the front and then to the police station.
So police station one is, I mean, one definitely needs to be removed, and then the other one is gonna stay. The most trees that we're gonna remove are the one in the front. Like when you go into the front of the building right now, you can see a little landscaping buffer area, like a planted area. So those trees are gonna have to come down in order to implement that. Everything in the back, all the trees are gonna stay, and so there will be like around 4 here, and then 5 maybe tops, 3.
Yeah.
So-
Let me see.
Oh, hold on, Councilwoman Kinsella, does that satisfy your question? Do you have a follow-up?
That answers my question, yes.
All right. Council President.
Hey, Jason and Ms. Costa, just quick question. Is there anything, is there any way that the tree removals can be probably done in-house by the DPW? Because it's $20,000. If we agreed on the removal of the trees.
Every-
That's
Jason,
something.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure Jason can, again, I don't want to give him work, he's not on, but yeah, they would have the ability to do it, absolutely.
we at least consider that, because that will knock down 20,000. What about the stone bench? Who's asking for that?
Where's that gonna go?
The what?
Stone
Stone
bench.
bench.
Yeah, where is the stone bench in
It
this?
says-
There's not listed in the drawing. So where would it be?
24.
There says
Uh,
24 benches here.
24?
That's what it says, the
Or
quantity.
maybe,
24.
no, maybe it's the item number. No, it's just.
No,
Oh, I see
No,
what
it
you're
says
saying. Yeah,
24.
I see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Do we have an
No.
item number on that?
it's item number 22.
Mr. Costa, can you go to item number 22? And we're wondering where that's coming from.
Oh, okay, so give me 1 second. So you,
Yeah.
You need these,
benches.
And
No.
to the question of the tree, our business administrator had said, Jason can do it as long as it doesn't require a crane. If it,
Oh, yeah.
if it requires a crane, then we probably should have,
We cannot.
we cannot.
Okay.
But we would need to, would you please, make an inquiry with Jason tomorrow? Mr. Costa, what about, item number 22?
hang on 1 second, Mayor.
It's opening right now. Give me 1 second, Mayor.
And what you're looking on that, I mean, again, I go back to the tree removals. I mean, do we really need to remove them in order to make this happen?
Yes,
Like
the
I
boards
was,
are
like I was
looking at-
showing you, you see these trees right here in the front? 1, 2, 3. If everybody can see this Google Earth, 4. Those are the 4 trees that are gonna be removed. Because in order to build the wall, you're gonna be cutting in the roots, and then as soon as you cut the roots, the trees, the tree's gonna eventually die. And then you have to bring the grade down to make it ADA compliant, which, you're technically cutting around that. So there's, even if we try to save them, they will die eventually.
Yeah, I
You still have
understand
to
that.
take it down. Okay.
Yeah. So, did you locate the item 12, the stone bench? It's 24 items?
Oh, it's item 12, not
22.
item
Item
22?
22.
Item 22.
22.
Oh, the stone bench. Okay, so that used,
That's probably the sitting wall, right?
yeah, that's a sitting wall. So we were planning to put some sitting walls along here. So just in case when they have a monument, that can be substituted. We can remove that item, not a problem. That item can be removed because right now we are planning to put a limestone around that, so the sitting wall is not going to be needed anymore.
And then back with benches.
Yeah, we're back with benches, so we're going to give a couple of benches because the entire idea of a borehole entrance
They
is to
want
conduct,
it,
yeah, to conduct business. That's a limestone. So the entire purpose of having a borehole entrance is for people to go in and conduct their businesses and just go off. So people are not going to be hanging around there. So we don't need sitting benches other than just the regular benches that we're proposing. That item can go away, so we can remove that item.
Can I ask you about another item?
Absolutely. Wait,
Oh, sorry.
Councilwoman Munson.
No, I mean, I just want to make sure that
Let's
everybody's
finish with,
in agreement with that. I just don't think that's necessary. And I think he says that it's not necessary, so.
so is, without objection, Council President is suggesting that we remove item number 22. Is there objection? Hearing none, it's so moved. Anything else?
No, thank you. I just want-
Councilwoman Kinsella.
I just had a question about the item 23, the stone monuments.
Yes. So that was a request done by PD, by the police department. They would like to have a couple, 2 stone monuments or 3 stone monuments on the left side here, in order to put some of the police members that they retire, or some of the police members that they die. However, that's an option that can be installed in moving forward. That can install now, so it was just added as part of the budget, just in case it was taken in consideration, so we can bid it out and can find out what the price would be. That's something that will have to be coordinated with the police department to see where that budget line is coming from, and certainly we can remove that. We can coordinate with the police department to see where the money is coming from and, move forward. But that was the idea. And let me show you exactly on the plans what that's going to be. So this area that is close by the police department entrance, is everybody can see that? Let me see one second. Never see it yet. So it will be here. They want a stone monument there.
There's a monument.
There's
on
no
the side of the
monument.
building.
There's no monument sign of the building, correct? But they want
So
to.
that would be relocated to that area.
And they want to leave a stone monument there, correct?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilman Kinsella, are you good?
Yes, good, thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else? Second round. Are we certain? All right, so let's go back to the parking spaces. The police are looking for 2 extra parking spaces in the back. That would require trees to come down. Mr. Costa, if we agreed to the 2 extra parking spaces and the removal of the tree, what sort of increase to the bid, to the budget, would that incur?
Yeah,
I would say probably 5,000 a parking space, Mayor. Maybe a little bit cheaper, but that's probably a good number to use. Because you
And that
gotta,
includes taking the trees down?
well, you gotta take the trees down, you gotta excavate that area, and then you gotta, obviously, it's not just a mill and pave there, because then you gotta create a base. So you need stone, you need the stabilized base, 4 inches of that, and then the 2-inch top. So it would be a little bit, basically, you're building a little parking lot from scratch there.
And that, you think that would be a $10,000 increase to the proposed?
I would say you're gonna be close to 10,000. Maybe a little bit cheaper, but not by much.
Okay. So does the council wish to consider that?
Yeah, if the police requested it, I would consider it.
So moved?
So moved.
Is there a second? If there is no second, then the motion fails.
Place it as an alternate and see how the numbers come in.
Yeah,
Would,
we
would
think
you
about
like
it?
to amend to, place it as an alternate?
So alternate would mean what?
Which means they would have the main bid and this would be an add-on that would be decided at the time of approval.
A separate bid item.
Okay, we could look at it that perspective.
So you're amending to, the 2 parking spaces for approximately $10,000 as an alternate to the main bid.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
There is a second. We're open for debate. What think we? Anybody want to speak in favor or against? All right, then we'll put it to the question. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay. Am I going too fast for anybody? I feel like I'm hyped up. Are we okay?
I'm a little confused exactly what we're voting on, I'm sorry.
So what we're basically doing is approving the plan that they have demonstrated minus item number 22 with an alternate bid for 2 extra parking spaces.
I'm good.
Now, Mr. Costa, this is a very rough drawing. Will we be getting a better drawing or is this it before we go out to bid?
Oh, no, this is a presentation plan.
This is based on just a presentation, right? So we obviously, at this point, if the council says, go forward, then obviously we gotta do the full plan, the specs, and then, send it out to bid. So we'd have to come back to the council to make sure that everybody's on board, and then get the council approval to go out to bid. But this is more than a concept. I mean, this would be, the materials, the walkway, the pavers, the brick. I mean, this is basically it, but it's not, obviously, this is not, it's not engineered to go out to bid for, to award a project, to award the job.
Okay. So, if the council should approve this, this concept as it is now, you're saying you'd come back to the council, we'd have the ability to tweak it in some small way if needed, and then it would go out to bid.
Correct. Yes.
And if the council approved it and everything else, what sort of timeline are we looking at?
Well, I mean, that's really up to you. Obviously, we want to get Borough Hall finished before this starts. Because right now, you wouldn't have the ability to do it tomorrow morning because they're still working on Borough Hall. So I'm not sure exactly what the timeline to finish there is. I mean, we're going into August. I know when we met a while ago, we were talking possibly October, November. I don't know if that's still a realistic timeline. But I would say this wouldn't happen till the spring.
Okay. So we keep the current configuration and it would be something that would go out to bid in the spring.
I think you would bid it probably prior and then probably construct in the spring. You don't want to construct this in the winter, obviously.
I guess what I think the council might be wondering is, will it be going out in this year's or next year's budget?
We have the financing.
Okay. So the financing's in place, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Is there any question from council?
I do. I want to go back to those extra parking
Go,
spaces. And
okay.
I agree with Barry's amended motion. I would like to understand the real need that the police has for those two spaces.
Okay,
Is that a request because they want it, or is it a need?
Yeah.
I'd like to understand that.
We can get a confirmation directly from the police department on that.
I believe it's a need because of all the work that the police are doing also with outside duty, then that spills over across the street and it impacts the employee and visitor parking. So if we could keep as much police parking on that side, there's enough parking for employees and people who are coming for,
Is that 'cause
various
of-
business.
Is that because of the construction now, though, or is that a long term?
No, this is a long term, even before the Borough Hall project, even before PSC&G, parking was always an issue.
so we have extra vehicles which are currently sitting in front of schools
Mhm.
with our class 2 or 3, what is
Class
it?
3.
Our class 3 officers. So what we're doing is we're keeping a larger fleet.
Mhm.
Now, these cars are not in great shape and we normally get rid of them, but they don't really have any wear and tear on them.
Mhm.
So if we can keep them in behind Borough Hall, then we have more room for contractors when they show up to come to the building department, residents when they show up to come to any of the offices, including paying taxes. The more we can keep police department behind the building, the better it is for the residents and anyone coming to Borough Hall.
Okay.
But we will see how much it is and we'll choose to do it or not, because it's an alternate bid.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Are we good? Mr. Costa, any last words?
I hope you like the design. And at this point, if you tell us, go ahead, we'll get started on the plans and get it out to, get back to you guys and go and ultimately go out to bid.
Could I have a motion and second to move forward with the plan as currently configured?
So moved.
Excuse me, I have a question.
I'm sorry, sir, till we open to the public, there are no
Oh,
questions.
You're gonna
But we'll
before
open
you-
up twice. We'll open up once for anything on the agenda, which would include this, and
Okay.
we'll open up again for anything beyond the agenda, which we'll do at the end.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second, but as amended, correct?
Yes, as amended. So the amendment would include the removal of item 22 and the alternate bid for the
Additional two
additional.
parking.
Okay. It's open for debate. Is there debate? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, any abstention? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Costa. We appreciate you coming. Jason too. Very, very good. Thank you.
All right, that's it. We're done?
Did we have any other need for them?
Could you ask them to stay?
Stay for a second, Mr. Costa, because when we open the public, it will include your presentation. So, you won't be answering questions directly. We will take the questions down and then close the public, and then you'll be able to answer any questions proposed, okay?
Perfect.
All right. Very good. Okay, could I have a motions and a second to open the public on any item on the agenda?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Sir, if you could come up first, because you spoke first, if you'd like, and you state your name and your address, and you can ask your question or make a comment. Hold on.
Okay.
We're gonna let you stay there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Could you move the camera? Miss, and can Mr. Costa, can you stop presenting for a second? Very good. Please state your name and address.
John Osmondson, 163 Manning Avenue, River Edge.
John, welcome.
Thank you. My father used to be the planning board or the zone here.
So we used to have a zoning and planning, and now we have a land use. It's a combined.
Yeah, well, that's what my father used to do
Nice.
here. Yeah. The question is.
Was your dad Arnold? Was your dad Arnold?
No,
Was your dad Arnold?
yes,
Mr. Costa knew him then.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, really great guy, nice guy.
Mr. Costa, he's asking, he will not be answering it in real time. We're not gonna do a debate, but you can ask, can you please I make you stop. Would you please put the drawing back on? Concept drawing?
And can someone go up and point things out to me? Because
You're allowed to ask questions, but it's not a dialogue where we go back and
I
forth.
wanted,
Yeah.
you have to point at, well, that's the, right, do my best.
Hold on. Sit.
You should not be
Sit.
saying,
No, sit.
now I'm
I'm
disabled.
concerned. Okay, what do you want me to point to?
Where's gonna be the handicap parking?
It's currently over here. We're not supposed to do this, but we're gonna make an exception for you. The current handicap parking is here, and that's where it will remain.
Where does the handicap?
Yep.
Yeah, the walkway.
Right.
That's the walkway, and that is gonna be even all the way from there to the police station.
Yeah.
So it's all gonna be level.
Well,
It looks like it's slanted on that.
it's going to be slanted, but it will be within state regulations to the slope.
Ramp has to be
Okay, I'm
slanted.
telling you right now.
What?
The ramp has to be slanted for the wheelchair
Right.
Yeah.
access.
Yes, it has.
Wheelchair has to be able to get down.
Right, so far I've been pay my taxes a number of times. And I've had to ask someone to bring the taxes up for me. Because it was, whoever did the design did a terrible job. When I take a look at where I have to park for the handicap, it has to go down and back up.
Mr. We're gonna let Mr. Costa answer that. Mr. Costa, we're not supposed to do this, but we're gonna do it for sake of this gentleman. Can you please describe the handicap, the slope, the angle, from, the parking spot on the left side of Borough Hall, through to, entrance into Borough Hall?
All right, so when you would park in, obviously, the space, the adjacent is the aisle for the ADA. You would.
Mr. Costa, can you also switch to the other image,
The original drawing.
the original drawing?
The original drawing.
Let me just, give me one second. This
So
one?
that one, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, now, Mr. Costa, if you can use the cursor so that the gentleman can understand, what obligations, for someone who is handicapped.
Okay, so, again, you would park in the space, that would be the aisle, so it would be van accessible there. From that point, you can then traverse up a.
I'll point it to you. Okay, so
let's see where he's pointing.
here's the
drawing.
arrow, so you park in here,
Yeah,
and then, you would come out there.
and then you walk
Okay, Mr. Costa, keep going.
up there,
See arrow, arrow?
Yeah, there.
To the front door.
That's the police department entrance.
Yeah,
And then you keep going.
And then you keep
Is
going
that-
to the borough.
okay, is that all the same level?
Well, the police station and the borough hall are at two different elevations. So you're gonna have a slope between the police station front door and the borough hall front door, because again, they're not at the same elevation.
But
I
it's
think,
less than 3%.
yeah, it's gonna be
just flat,
relatively flat
flat.
because of the run.
The only one that you're gonna have.
Then the other.
Less than 2%, it's gonna be relatively flat.
Okay,
Correct.
All right,
gonna
I'm
be-
happy.
All right. So, we made an exception, because this was a question of handicap access. Thank you, Mr. Costa. Please remain.
No problem.
Is there, anyone else who'd like to come up? Come on up. Good to see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you have further questions, email them to us.
We have to adjust.
I had a stroke,
Yeah.
I
Go
have spinal stenosis,
for call?
and I used to work it with handicap for over 40 years.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be a handicap.
Good to see you.
Talking, finish.
No, yeah, we're just chatting while you were coming up.
Okay, what I would need you to do is.
You have to state
the
your name
front-
and address.
Oh, sure. So, Phyllis Angelo, Chairman of the River Edge Historic Commission, 594 Elm Avenue.
All right,
I know many of you,
yes.
many have been the liaison to the commission.
So, Rob, would you switch to the other image?
We need to see the front facade, Mayor.
Oh, wow.
This is the side facade.
Yeah, we need to see the front facade because that's what I'm here about.
That is not part of today's agenda,
Is there, oh, I did not realize.
but instead of making Mr. Costa come back, Mr. Costa, do you have an image of the fronts of, that the contractor is currently doing?
Oh,
No,
no.
That's what
I
it looks
don't have
like now.
copies printed.
Can
we
can
don't-
you give me that one?
You sent it to me, Mayor.
Yeah, I did. So this was, the council, this is what I was referring to, that we had about 12 months ago, okay?
Okay. Mhm.
Oh,
And it was part of one of our presentations.
mhm.
Okay, so, Rob,
That's.
I
Mayor, that's-
hopefully I'm going to hold it in such a way you can see it. Can you see it?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
All right. Phyllis, question.
As I say, I was misinformed, I guess, because I was told the presentation was going to include the whole borough, which is the front facades. We had a meeting of the last meeting of the commission. And actually, many members of the commission almost wanted to resign because we were not told about this beforehand. Because, in the website, you have landmark sites. If you go back to your own borough website, the Borough Hall is number F. And that has to do with the Historic Commission ordinance. What is considered a landmark and what is not. 16 pages, I didn't bring that with me, but the ordinance is 16 pages long. And it includes what you would do if there was any change to the Borough Hall, the facade. So why we're here, why I'm here today representing the commission is that it's not a lot of things that we think need to be different. The pillars, I can't tell from this, but I would ask,
Remember, that's the side, this is the front.
right. I can't tell, are the pillars separate or are they attached to the building? It's very hard to tell from this.
Rob, again, we'll make an exception for this. Rob, is there, I believe that they're embedded. Rob, would you say they were embedded?
To be honest, Mayor, honestly, I don't know.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
How about we do this, Phyllis? Why don't you
Yeah, the
ask your
front-
questions?
the actual
The borough
building is,
administrator will take down your questions and then we'll send you an email, and if you want to come back, you can come back too.
Sure, okay. Okay, well, this is, this is from the commission, as they say, this is a landmark, it's on your borough, we're F, it's F. And as I say, through the
Special
ordinance, this
purpose.
makes this we know that it's not locally designated. I'm not saying that it is. We know it legally isn't.
Mhm.
But we would like it to be as, the facade could be as historic as possible, which is what it is now. In other words, separate pillars, not attached. And if possible, I don't think that would be very much more money, white bricks instead of red. I don't see that. I mean, I'm not an architect. I don't know how much more money that is, but that doesn't seem like a lot. But those are the, as I say, their main question is, can it look as historical as it looks now, if possible?
Okay. So you're asking for a facade change, so a bump out, overhang, but there'd be no door, remember?
No, but that's fine. We know that. We wouldn't change anything the way you have it here with the windows. Though I do want to mention the fact that it used to have, it was used as an entrance, not recently,
Yeah, well,
but many years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was, the former mayor Howells, who was elected to the as mayor in 1929. So it was a while ago.
Yeah.
And it was sold to the borough in 1940.
okay,
Okay, so that's actually, so as I say, that's basically from the commission is however much you can keep it looking somewhat historic, everyone, all my people that are not, they call it the hysterical commission, not the historic. But you guys know what I mean.
all right,
Okay.
Thanks,
And
Phyllis.
thank you, Mayor, thank you, council.
That's you.
okay. And if you could CC myself, the liaison and the council president.
Oh, sorry, my husband says round cups.
Round cup.
Yes.
Okay,
Really right.
thank you.
All right.
Thank
All right, is there any other member of the, either the remote audience, the virtual audience, because we've exhausted those who are in the physical audience who would like to ask a question or make a comment? Mr. Costa, thank you for coming. Have a good one.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, good evening. Have a great evening. Good night, everybody.
Night,
Good night.
everybody.
Good night.
All
We're
right.
done.
All right.
Yes, you can drive me home now. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
so could I have a motion second to close to any, close to the
We
public?
want to just ask if there's anyone online. If-
I did, I said on the virtual audience.
Okay.
Okay.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Could I have a motion and second for item number 8 after I read it into the record? Approve the appointment of Avani Darawal as the Riverdale High School representative for a 1-year term. Riverdale High School representative to what?
To the Environmental Protection.
The Environmental Protection Commission for a 1-year term through June 30th, 2025.
So we have to do so.
So moved.
Second.
This is open for debate. Is there debate? Is there commentary or question? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Public, please let the public know that the monthly reports, land use board for June, Board of Health for June, and tax collector report for June are available through the clerk's office. Second reading, we have not a first reading, but second reading. We're going to open for all 3. No, we're gonna open for the first one. And then we'll close and then we'll adopt. And then for the following 2, we'll open for them together, close, and then we'll have 2 separate adoption votes. Correct? Okay.
17 and 18.
Can we adopt 17 and 18 together?
The ordinances,
Yeah,
I generally prefer that adoption be done independently, each
Yeah.
one.
but we can open together.
You can open them all together, correct, but they all have to be separate votes.
How about we just open all 3 together? Is that okay?
If that's okay.
All right. Could I have, so let me read them into ordinance 24-14, ordinance by the Borough of River Edge in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, and amending and supplementing the River Edge Borough Code, Chapter 350, Site Plan Renewal, and Chapter 416 zoning. Ordinance 20-17, an ordinance amending and supplementing Section 400-17.2 of the Chapter 400 Vehicles and Traffic of the revised general ordinance of the Borough of River Edge, respecting parking within Grove Street Commercial Parking Lot. Ordinance 24-18, an ordinance to amend chapter 206 of the revised general ordinance of the Borough of River Edge entitled fees as amended by ordinance 24-16, respecting parking fees for the Grove Street Commercial Parking Lot. But I have a motion and second to open to the public on these three ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Apatella, could you please explain what we hope to achieve through 24-14, 24-17, and 24-18?
Absolutely. 24-14, it incorporates the recommendations of the Land Use Board to update the language, clarify regarding lot coverage, covered porch, corner lot, and accessory structures. It modifies the terminology for site plan review of food establishments, and it also revises definitions. For 24-17, it would allow for up to 3 parking spaces at the Grove Street commercial lot for residential parking. And 24-18 establishes the fees for that parking permit.
All right. We are now open to the public. Would any member of public like to ask a question, make a statement? Anyone in the virtual audience? Could I have a motion and second to close the public on ordinance 24-14, 24-17, and 24-18?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, could I have, from any member of council, a motion to move for adoption ordinance 24-14?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. It is open for debate, inquiry, or comment. Is there debate, inquiry, or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, roll call for 24-14.
Yes.
Council President Montalvo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mallory,
Yes.
Councilman Benson,
Yes.
Councilman Flash.
Yes.
Okay, could I have a motion and second for, to move for adoption ordinance 24-17 as read into the record previously?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it is now open for debate, commentary, inquiry. Is there any? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Calhoun,
Yes.
Council President Montalvo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mallory,
Yes.
Councilman Benson,
Yes.
Councilman Flash.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 24-18 as previously read into the record. Could I have a motion and second for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
It is open for debate, commentary, or inquiry. Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Calhoun,
Yes.
Council President Montalvo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mallory,
Yes.
Councilman Benson,
Yes.
Councilman Flash.
Yes.
Very good. We have ordinances, resolutions rather, 24-221 through 24-233. Does any member of council wish to ask a question or hold for a separate vote any of the resolutions so named?
Mayor, I'm gonna have to abstain from 22-21 and 222. I'm sorry, 221 and 222.
All right, so
And
when,
just because, and I have to apologize to everyone, I haven't had the opportunity or the time to review all the details related to both these change letters.
sure,
Therefore, I'm apologizing again.
No worries. That's fine.
Thank you.
So what happens is when we go to the vote, I'll ask all in favor and we'll hear aye and you'll say, but I abstain from, we'll restate that. Any other inquiry, questions? Debate? Okay, could I have a motion and second?
1 second.
Right,
Sure.
for, I know we're pulling it out, 24-221.
We're pulling it out?
Are we pulling out for a separate vote or are we?
No,
Oh, well, we just,
he's just gonna abstain.
I'm gonna abstain from 24-221 as well.
Okay,
Um, But I do have a question.
Hold on a second. Since these are change orders, do they have to have a supermajority or can they have simple majority?
I believe they can have just a simple majority for the change order.
Okay,
It's not the underlying
cost.
cost of the bid
All right,
approval.
all right. Okay, sounds good.
We're just wondering what the cost, where they came up with that amount.
Well, you can ask that question now. Do we have an answer for justification for the cost? You're saying for
For
24-221
221, correct.
and 222?
Um, More for 221.
221.
Well, the cost is attached, and it was reviewed repeatedly with the architect and brought down because it involves the removal of asbestos insulation that is specialized work. And it has to conform with, federal standards, state standards. It requires special air filtration and it requires special disposal. That's what generated the cost and the initial proposal, it had come down by almost half.
So this number of $27,565.63 is half what the original, approximately?
More or less, going based on the actual work, the 23,875, the overhead, the insurance, the bonding, that's all tied in with the bid specs. So I'm talking about the actual physical work, the construction cost.
I have a follow-up.
Sure.
Does that include soft cost, like the work, or what does that include?
No, this is the all-in cost. If you look at, I guess it would be page 5, after the AIA document, you see the subtotal of 23,875. That's the construction work.
Mhm.
And then, as per the bid specifications, there's an allowance for overhead, profit, insurance, bonding. Those are the soft costs.
I still have a follow-up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that,
This is
okay,
your rights.
this is a public packet. This
Yeah.
was in your agenda pack.
Yeah, is this only for the finance department?
Yes.
There's no other,
Understand correctly, this is for removal of 80 linear feet of pipe insulating, asbestos containing pipe insulation,
Yes, 80.
$27,000.
for pipes.
For 80 feet of insulation on pipe, 27,000.
Yes, this asbestos should be isolated from, I think, adjacent areas within critical barriers of 6 mil polyethylene sheeting, secure duct tape, New Jersey state licensed asbestos handlers in accordance with all federal, state, and local regulations that shall perform the work. Insulation will be removed under wet conditions and HEPA negative air filtration. All materials shall be placed in double labeled 6 mil polyethylene bags, transported and disposed of at an approved landfill.
So this includes disposal too.
Yes.
Is there a way to go back to them again and ask if they can bring it down further? Because it seems high.
This did go back and forth, like I said, with the architect, and no further work can happen in the finance department until this asbestos is remediated.
Is that the only asbestos in the finance department space?
Yes, because the flooring is not being removed and it's just being added on, so the asbestos that's there is not being disturbed.
Okay, yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
I was able to do that. There it is.
Iovina recommended it, right, Lizette?
Yes.
And so again, I'm sorry, just the 24,222 is also about the finance department and it's about millwork. What does that mean?
The mill work it's for removing the sheetrock and furring out the exterior walls, removing interior walls. And the millwork is all the cabinetry that is under the current window, because since the flooring has to come up, and the window size is adjusted, then all the cabinetry also has to be adjusted, and all of that cabinetry is outdated, is not accessible in the event there is a future employee with that requires ADA accessibility.
Mhm. Just, no, I think I agree with Councilwoman Kaufman. I mean, it's the same company doing the both work, and maybe there is an opportunity to at least consider, looking into if they can be reduced. They're doing the work, it's the same company for what I can see.
Well, H&S is bringing in a separate company to handle, it is, see here, oh, you don't have it, it's in the original packet. MTM Metro Corporation, they have to bring in a company that specializes in asbestos removals. Just like when we did the demo work of the original building, it was contracted to Scopier, but they had to bring in a separate company that is licensed in asbestos removal.
Thank you.
And just in general, is that they did the scope of work, they've done, this is the only asbestos that they found that they're gonna be removing. We're not gonna have another change order for another.
In the finance department, there is limited asbestos on the floor, but the floor is not being disturbed, so it does not have to be remediated.
Right, but anywhere else, I'm saying, this is the lone asbestos removal area.
That, they do have to work in council chambers. It was tested, but if doing, when they get to that work, if something is exposed, they have to stop. Everywhere else, building A, that was the original Borough Hall building, all that has been removed. So if there is anywhere else, it would just
Right,
be.
so if there's something that's enclosed and it's encountered during demolition, they might have to test it, and it might be positive for
Oh, you
asbestos,
don't know,
and then
where
it would have
things
to be
are-
addressed, right?
Yes,
Is that-
that is correct.
All right, thank you.
I'm saying, like I said, I wasn't able to review it, I apologize.
Okay. Is there, I need to know whether the vote can move forward, so
Just a simple resolution.
it's a simple resolution, okay. All right, if the vote goes down, too many people abstain, where does that leave us? Can the item cannot be reintroduced unless it's changed, correct?
Well, if it's, so are you asking, are you gonna table?
No, I'm saying so if more than two members of council, if three members of council abstain, then it would be left to me, correct?
It would be three, correct, there has to be, you have to have a majority of the eligible members to vote, but you have to have a quorum to do that. So quorum would have to be at least 4 members.
So if more than two members abstain, the motion fails.
No.
4-2-1.
If 2 members abstain and there are 4 members left,
Okay,
correct, and they all vote yes, it still will pass.
what happens if 3? Then the motion
No,
fails.
no, because if they abstain, they don't count towards the majority, so there's only 4 members, so 3 out of 4 is okay.
Well, it would, and I would be the 4th.
Well, you'd be considered, you're still the tie-breaking vote, but it would still be okay.
Okay. All right, now, if we ended up having 4 abstaining, then the motion would fail.
Then it couldn't even be voted on, correct?
And that would mean that work could not proceed because we did not approve the asbestos.
Correct.
And it would have to go back and come back changed. If it did not come back changed, under Robert's rules, could it be reconsidered?
There's a time, I mean, you can always reintroduce a motion.
Even if it's the exact motion that was done before?
I think as long as it's
Yes.
a member of the prevailing side brings it back up.
Correct.
So if the prevailing side was based.
But
on
there is no
abstention-
prevailing side if 4 abstain. There is no prevailing side. That's why I'm asking.
Well, no, then it would be that no, like the abstainers could bring it back.
Ah.
Because they're considered the no's, even though they're abstaining.
So I just want the council aware how this could go by abstaining. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. but it's my role to make sure that you guys understand how this would affect the process.
Explain to me again, I apologize.
So if 4 members abstain,
Mhm.
the motion fails. It can be brought up by any one of the 4 in the future. If it fails, it would go back to the architect and the contractor. The architect and contractor can either make a change and send it back to us, which means we would either have to wait till August to approve it or have an emergency meeting. And or they might send it back and say, no, we consider this to be a fair price. We're sending it back to you without change. And again, we could either call a special meeting or have it in August, but the work in that area will not move forward during that period of review, which is perfectly okay. The council has to, but the council, it's my job as presiding officer of the council to make sure that everybody understands consequences of decisions. It's easy when everybody votes yes, but if people don't know, which is fine, they just have to know what that impact will be. Do you have a follow-up question?
So not everything will stop, but just whatever work is in this particular area.
I don't know if that would be true. Certainly in this particular area, the work would stop. I would believe building A could continue without problems. I believe the staircase could continue without problems. I don't know, there's work being done in that foyer area, which is outside the finance. I don't know if that would be able to continue, but I can't speak to that properly. Okay,
Yeah, thank you, Mayor.
everybody good? All right, okay, so let me get back to my agenda. Okay, could now, if you think you're going to abstain, then please don't be part of the motion of second. Okay, we're gonna move as a block 24-221 through 24-223. Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and
You
it's,
said 2, 2, 3, you meant 2, 3, 3.
my bad. Let me rephrase it. Could I have a motion and second for 24-221 through 24-233?
So moved. Second.
It has been moved and seconded. I'm gonna ask for a general vote, and if you wish to abstain, you would say I abstain from. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Are there any abstentions for any particular resolutions?
Yes, Mayor. 24-221.
You're abstaining.
Yes.
Is there any other abstention?
Yes, Mayor, 24-221.
Correct, all right. Is there, so that still leaves 4, okay? Is there any other abstention for 24-221? Hearing none, let me move on. Is there any other abstention for any other resolution? Second call. Is there any other abstention for any other resolution in the block that we are currently moving? Hearing none, all the resolutions are so approved. Could I have the finance chair, Councilwoman Kaufman, please move 24-233, payment of the bills?
At a regular meeting of.
Wait,
Sorry.
that, my screen does not show a difference, but it is 22-234, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
At a regular meeting of the mayor and council of the borough of River Edge, Key of Bergen, state of New Jersey, held on July 8, 2024. Be it resolved that the mayor and council of the borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund, $410,288.73. General capital fund, $973,964.48. Branch fund, $1,268.45. Animal control, $1.20. Trust other, $1,634.48. Payroll, $21,176.24. Developers escrow, $1,162.50. Self-insurance trust, $1,874.79. Recreation trust, $11,043.07. So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, any abstention? All right. Puppy Mill proclamation. Who asked for this to be put on the agenda?
This was something that the governing body received, a request back in February
Mhm.
or March of earlier this year. And it had been forwarded to the Board of Health. And they had recently, at their June meeting, approved a resolution in support of the pending legislation that would prohibit the pet shops to sell animals as a puppy mill, as requested by the Animal Protection League of New Jersey. And so it's before the governing body to determine whether this body wishes to adopt not a proclamation, but a resolution in support of the pending legislation, or if the Board of Health proclamation is sufficient.
Okay, and that proclamation, if this body chose to do that, would be in our August meeting, correct?
Correct.
All right, so it is open for debate. Any member of council, feel free to speak out.
Just a general question. So this would be to not have puppy mills in River Edge or any residents, but what is it?
Go ahead.
Can you just refresh?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
That what the bill states, and the proclamation would be in support of, or the resolution would be endorsing the proclamation. The bill states there's a bill in the legislature right now to prohibit the sale of cats, dogs, or rabbits by pet shops and repeal the Pet Purchase Protection Act, and which would essentially eliminate the ability of any pet shop in New Jersey to sell a cat or a dog.
Oh.
Or a rabbit.
Oh,
Sorry,
or
only the
rabbits,
rabbits
forget
out.
the rabbits, okay.
So we're deciding that we want to join those voices at our August meeting. If this body should wish to do that, then there would be basically a consensus, and it would be put on the agenda for August. Are you in support of that, or?
I am in support, then there would be no more pet stores.
So you'd have a pet store, they would sell pet supplies, you could get your birds and your reptiles, you just can't buy a dog or a cat or a rabbit.
I don't know what it does with breeders, but I know it doesn't
No, it has nothing
reference
to do
breeders.
Well, I think it stops pet stores, like breeders tend to sell through the pet stores, right? That's one of the channels. So they would shut that down. And we have so many animals that need adoption in New Jersey. And these puppy mills are, from what I gather, pretty horrible. And they throw away the bad puppies and it, to me, it sounds like we should support this because it's a good thing and we need to adopt all these strays and shut down a lot of these puppy mills.
Any other voices?
I have a question. Are there any exemptions or exclusions? Like, for example, I've seen many times where pet stores open their doors to animal shelters. And they bring the dogs and cats to the pet store. And they kind of like an open house where people can take abandoned pets and purchase them to the pet store.
So that would be part of the detail of the bill if it moved out of committee and into, onto the assembly floor or the Senate floor. And then, of course, when the bill is in committee, it can go through amendments. And once it goes to the floor, it can go through amendments. So we can't speak to your question because it's unknowable. Would that be correct?
Well said.
Anything else? All right, so somebody will make a quick motion for us to add this to the agenda or not?
So
Second.
This is open for debate. Is there any debate? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, Memorial Park bathrooms. Who asked for that to be on the agenda?
I
think you
did.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
So a number of people have come up to me and wondered why Memorial Park bathrooms are not open during the summer most of the time. And I thought it would be a great idea if we could do that somehow. I'm not sure, does the Little League open the bathrooms whenever they have a game right now? Do they have a key for the ones near the snack bar?
I believe that's their building.
Okay,
So they have
gotcha.
the key.
Okay.
This is for
The camp
the camp building. And the only people that have the key is if, you know, if there's a borough-sponsored event, of course, they're open. If somebody has a permit, they go to the police department, somebody leaves their license as collateral, and they're given the key, and once they bring the key back, then they get their license back.
Okay,
Uh,
so I know we didn't budget to pay for the cleaning costs, and I know we're not expected to have cameras in there till we do more of the Memorial Park renovations.
I did find in speaking with Jason, Lito, our superintendent, before I started here, there was money set aside for special locks, automated programmable locks. I found the account, and since we're looking into, as far as the Borough Hall project is concerned, the automated key swipe fob doors, I had that vendor get in touch with our rec director, and they're in the process of working on it to get an estimate. And mind you, since what was funded was before I started, is like 2018, 2019 estimates. So if we do need additional funding, I'll let you know, but you know, the ball has started to roll on that.
Okay, and I think we're also trying to work on getting more hours for someone to clean the bathrooms as well, right?
We're working on the janitorial aspect also.
Yeah, so hopefully we can do it soon, I guess
Hopefully.
is where we are.
So Councilwoman, are you requesting that we put it on old business and that it would show up on the next agenda as an old business item?
Sure.
Okay, all in favor of adding this as an old business item, please say aye.
Aye.
All
I
right.
have a comment on that.
Sure.
Since there's not gonna be cameras, I'm just concerned about safety and the hours of operation. So it would be, I guess, we need to make sure that the chief knows if the hours or if we're gonna be open during X amount of time. Just concerned about kids wandering around in there, or I'm concerned about safety.
So we could ask the chief to comment on the idea, either verbally to yourself, Ms. Apardella, or via a memo to the council.
It's because
Does that
it,
satisfy?
Yes.
because the park is, will there be something in place to follow the park hours? Park hours are sunrise
Mhm,
to sunset.
mhm,
And this time of the year, you're looking at 5:30 to 8:30,
mhm.
5:30 in the morning to 8:30 at night.
And my concern also, I wasn't gonna weigh in on this, but my concern also is if we use a programmable lock, can it be time sensitive? So that,
Oh.
and changeable per day? Because if not, then you give the number to one person.
Mhm.
And then, yes, and then they say to their best friend that, oh, you're going down, this is the number. And now we can have some very unpleasant things happening in the bathroom. Because we don't know who actually used the number that was given out.
Yeah.
Anything else on this item? Okay, our next item is Board of Health 2025 meeting dates. They want to change their meeting dates so that they can have their liaison come forward. So, and that was sent to you as an attachment in the, to the agenda.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion on that?
I'm the liaison. I haven't been able to go to their meetings because we have council meetings.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Is there any objection?
No.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Oh, wait.
In order to make the change, it is codified, so there would have to be an ordinance because the
Ordinance
code,
or resolution?
no, an ordinance, because it, in the borough code, it spells out when the reorganization meeting is and the meeting schedule. So we don't have to amend the code, we have to adopt an ordinance. And that's why they're asking for it to be effective in 2025.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask,
The ordinance for the dates.
yeah,
It has the number of times a year they meet and the reorg.
okay. So, so that would mean that we'd have an ordinance coming up in the August meeting that would address that. Is there any objection? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving right along. Is there any other new business? Hearing none. Is there any old business? All right. Could I have a motion second to open to the public for any comment?
So,
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
So just raise your hand online if you have a question or comment.
Could I have a motion second to close to the public?
So
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
fine.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, council comments. Any council member have a comment they'd like to share? Councilwoman Malari.
I'd like to share with the public that the Environmental Protection Commission is having a paddle day in River Edge with Hackensack Riverkeeper tomorrow. They have two sessions, one at 10:30 and the second one at 12:30. The EPC, the Environmental Protection Commission Green Team, are co-sponsoring with the Hackensack Riverkeeper. They will be offering this activity to River Edge residents, 12 and older. Everyone under 18 will need to be with an adult in a canoe.
Any other liaison or council member wishing to make a comment?
just, I'd like to thank, the DPW and, our rec commissioner for a great Fourth of July, celebration.
Any other member of council? All right then. Could I have a motion and second to adjourn the meeting for the day? All,
Second.
Oh, second.
all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Well done, everybody.
Good night.